Hello, fellow Tamers. This is your King Willex speaking on to a round of some sort of raid going on, but we're in between parcels at times. I am here with. Yeah, gotta introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Aussie Tamer.
And
Nice to meet you.
Asphodelic 95.
thank you. I tried recording on OBS here since 2 days ago, and for some reason OBS wasn't picking up on my audio, but thankfully we got an IT guy here that helped me out to get this all sorted out. So we are on the same page. Now, there's a few things we want to discuss and cover, but for right now, let's have a bit of fun. Now, the one thing that I want to bring up is why everybody is complaining about the Game King taking over the servers. Now, I don't know why you guys are making such a fuss, but let me get something straight here. Joymax had us all messed up because before Game King took over, Joymax had the drop rates. You couldn't get anything unless you had to hatch a new Digimon. And you couldn't level up in File Island Waterfront unless you had a lower level than 90 Digimon. So let's discuss the changes that the Game King brought us, and that we all should enjoy. So, Ozzy, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Well, going off the drop rate, it's now a lot easier to do a lot of different quests. That if you didn't have a strong enough Digimon at that level, you couldn't end up doing the quest. It actually made Maze quite hard for me, because I only had a level 90 Digimon and then like level 60. With the XP rate though, there's actually ups and downs to the XP cap. Because now we can do quests on Fire Island, because the quest drop cap's also been removed. It now actually means that everyone's at Fire Island. So if you come on during a busy time, you might not even get a place to farm.
But according to the cap drops, we can also gain levels from and with the experience that come from quests, and also to the addition of cap drops, we get to raid any sort of area from beginning to end of each map and get any sort of items we'd like. So it made farming a lot more easier and made us a lot more richer.
Yes, it's true. And also, it if you want to get to level 99 before, you had to go to Server Continent. Now you can actually just do the quest of Fire Island. You don't even have to go to Server Continent at all. You can just do the quest of Fire Island, and you'll probably get at least a level a day, all the way to 99.
So apart from what the Game King did for us, from what Joymax didn't do for us, I would have to rate Game King 10 out of 10. Joymax is down the toilet.
Yep, yeah, can't disagree with that.
So,
not to mention, Game King also added a lot of Digimon. As soon as we changed from Joymax, Examon came out.
yeah, that's one of the complaints that I had when Joymax was in power, is that Joymax did not allow us the chance to have the Digimon that KDMO came out with, and I felt that the Korean servers were selfish enough to hold that back from us for over 3 to 4 years. And now I feel like everything's on fair planes, everything is most equal now, that we actually have the opportunity to do what most of the Korean servers can do. So yeah, that's a plus.
Yes, the only difference is a lot of the things that the Koreans still have, a lot of the Digimon, such as the fusion Digimon like Shoutmon, we don't currently have the rights to it.
Well, I don't care about Shoutmon. He is way over Gen 5, so I don't really care much about that.
No, I agree, but I just think that we need to take that into context, that a reason why Joymax maybe couldn't get it is because they didn't have the rights to Examon. Game King, on the other hand, I believe, had a part in the Korean server. I'm not sure about that.
Well, that just says a lot from our perspective. I mean, if the Game King had more rights than what Joymax did, I think this is all a ploy to get Joymax out of here to begin with. Because right between JDM or Joymax's removal and Game King's deployment, Move Games had the servers for quite some time before the Game King actually took over.
That's true.
And
but on the topic of servers, server stability hasn't changed at all.
Right. And also on the note, we do have an additional add-on to this too, on topic. With Joymax in power, we had two sets of income with Silk. We had the Premium Silk, which is higher than normal Silk. Now let's explain the difference. Premium Silk was able to buy tradable items, where normal Silk, you can only buy CB items, which was character bound. So you were sort of limited to what you can actually achieve. Which means, in order to get free Silk, you were to play 5 minutes of some how do you say that? It's not a demo, but some mini games on their website, or watch videos or whatnot. But with Game King, you don't have that opportunity, but you do have that opportunity to have all the free time to farm as you want, to get as much Terra as you want, to buy what you want, because no matter what's on the cash shop, the Tamers at that center will sell them to you no matter what.
And it's actually sometimes cheaper to get them from the Tamers and not get them from the cash shop.
Depends on who's not greedy.
Yeah, and it depends on what you want. If you want a Digimon, it's actually a lot easier. Especially if you want a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The thing that Joymax did do well, though, on the topic of cash shop, is the dollar sales.
Yeah, well, Game King was doing that too for the most point. I mean, they had the eggs and stuff down to about 10, maybe, or 15 crowns at the most. So that was...
Was it down to that much?
Yeah. They did have it at a certain point because it was an event item. I mean, the eggs were being sold for, what, 25 crowns at a certain extent.
I do actually sort of remember an event like that.
So yeah.
Right now, though, they're back, and I guess that is similar to the $1 DigiX.
So
or the 10 crown of DigiX.
So we got to be thankful and remind ourselves of what they did for us than what Joymax did, because they certainly earned the title of Trollmax, like everybody was.
Yes, they definitely did.
Because there's like a lot of debate on whether or not Joymax is going to do the right thing or not, but since you brought up the empowerment of being licensed to do a certain thing, I feel like it was the idea of getting Joymax removed from the equation to begin with in order for Game King to actually do what was right for us. Because now I feel like I'm being a total douche of myself to actually blame the Joymax didn't do what they were supposed to in our responsibility of enjoyment to the game. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there was a time that at the end of Joymax's life, as we could sort of say, where the servers were that bad that it was actually hard to play for an hour straight without being disconnected.
Right.
And I know we got like all these free things, but you know, so far with Game King, yeah, we still have some server issues, and they've said, look, we've got server issues, we're going to fix them, here's the date. We didn't have any communication from Joymax about why or how
it was implemented.
Or at least now with Game King, we've got, look, we're aware of the issue, and this is the date that we're planning on fixing it.
Right.
You know, that's actually communicated, and that's another step. If the game's got issues, if the servers have issues, as long as the company's telling us that they're trying to fix it. Unlike Joymax, it's sort of just brushed underneath the rug until they did something. And
right. Because they were feeling like they were overworked on a certain point where most of their time was just repairing the servers, and that's, I think, how they felt like they were doing most of the period of the time. Because every server downtime, it took up to at least 3 hours until the server was back up again. At least with Game King, the Game King was at least a half an hour down to that point. So we only get like an hour downtime or 25 minutes, and they have the server repaired in no time.
Yes, actually, we actually had an emergency maintenance on the Lucemon server, but I didn't even realize until I looked at the Game King website. It only took 10 minutes.
Well, that was shorter than expected. So yeah, there you guys go. So when Joymax was in power, I have to bring this up now so I don't forget. When Joymax was in power, all of our problems came into light whenever I first started the game. It took 2 years to understand why I was being disconnected, and when to that point, they decided not to do any more server maintenance. And it was at that point in time that I realized that I had to switch server because Lucemon was the one mostly bugged at that time. Now, I had to switch servers from Lucemon to Lilithmon in order to get what I wanted in full burst. Because whenever I was at the Lucemon server, all of my Digimon that I have hatched here are 4x5 there. Unlike here, I have mostly 3x5s that I've rehatched into 4x5s, which is okay by me, but not to others. Now, until Game King took over, all of those disconnecting problems have ceased. There is a little spot,
I wouldn't say they all had.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little spotty.
Gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little spotty from here and there because they have been working on new projects to the server, but there's like a little glitches from here and there. But that's expected because if DMO is undergoing new qualities of gameplay, you're going to expect some little difficulty of playing. So whenever that comes around, server maintenance or emergency server patches will be implemented within, like, Ozzy said, in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to think of issues that we've had with Game King, and
There
the
aren't
times
any.
that we've found bugs, the times that we've found problems, they've jumped on it straight away. I mean, there's been a turnaround that's been pretty quick. I think the longest I had to go without playing was probably a day, when it wouldn't log me in after a faulty patch implementation, I believe. But as we said, as soon as we let them know through the support, the bug report, they sort of got onto it straight away. While with Joymax, you would post and nothing would really change for a while.
Right.
So I guess I don't know whether it wasn't like Joymax maybe not focusing on the issues, not looking at the bugs, but maybe they were, maybe maybe Game King are just doing a better job.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, let's look at the limits that each company had here while spending most of the times on the servers. Is that with Game King, they only took so much less of time, but they also gave us a lot of stuff in return. Because if we look at the DAT Center, Digitamamon is there waiting for our coins to get free items. So every Tuesday's emergency maintenance, except for last week.
I actually didn't get one last week either.
Yeah. The Game King, well, they'll actually make up for that because they'll give us like at least more coins for the next update. So they have been giving us free coins to a certain amount, but we have to look forward to a free Jogris chip for 700 service coins, and then we get free aura for 1,000.
And these free ones, they're not just like 1 day or 7 day, they're infinite. So
yeah, they're very permanent.
It's
so
very like permanent items, and they'll be very useful. Like granted, 700, that's a lot. You only get a coin. You have to pick it up within 6 days, and store it. But
right,
it's they're giving back to the people that play, the people that will be playing every week, which I think is good.
Yeah, so we can't complain very much of what the Game King did for us, because in return there was a lot of quick responses to what they were doing, and no matter if you send a report in about whatever bugs you find during your gameplay, they'll look over that and then come back about a day or so later and then come back and fix it. So you'll only have like 10 minutes of downtime, and then you're back up again. So depending on what you feel is necessary, they actually did a lot for us.
They have, and they've actually cracked down on people that are starting to abuse bugs and abuse bots.
Yes.
Which now, granted, is an entirely sort of new issue of people getting bugged into being banned. Because you
Right.
can, there was an item bug where you could duplicate items and then sell them, and I believe anyone who brought one of those items was also banned.
Right.
Um, which of course is an issue, but
Well,
the majority of players that got banned abused bugs.
right. So the majority of the people that did buy those bugged items, don't worry, your accounts will be returned because the ones who actually bugged those items are banned permanently. There's an IP ban on Korean servers or Korean players who are in the global servers, and there are IP bans for those who use the macro blue eye and started farming like bottingly while they were AFK or doing something rather. And there are IP bans on people who actually abuse the bug to manipulate items into their fair share of Terra accounts. And I'm a bit surprised that Axel Blaze did not uh, find himself banned for, selling as many items as he has for the high price that he's been doing.
Who?
Axel Blaze.
I don't know who that is.
He's said to be the most richest person on DMO, but I have my doubts.
Okay. He may be playing for a while.
Well, like I said, it's one of those things. I have my doubts. I mean, this is one guy who tried to sell a Kudamon egg, a 3x5 Kudamon egg, nonetheless, up to 90 or 900 terras.
900 Terra.
900 Terra, and I try to. This is whenever Joymax is in power. I try to keep my account on at that time, but I keep getting disconnected, and while being disconnected, I converted my account back to Lilithmon and tried to test my luck there because it was said that I could actually get a Kudamon through the 12th general quests, and I've tested that out, and by my luck, as it ended, it didn't happen that way. Did somebody send me a message?
Yeah, I just heard that. Well, I think that was just a Skype message.
Did it come from Charlotte?
Yeah.
You're free to speak, Charlotte. Oh, she muted her mic. What did she say?
She's off now.
Oh, she's going to bed. So yeah, we gotta be grateful about what they did for us. I mean, there's not a whole lot they can do at the moment, but they've been doing a lot. Apart from Joymax's teasers, and I've gotta say this, Joymax teased us a lot. There was like a certain amount of eggs that can be shared on the cash shop, to which they would take them down at a certain point, and then bring them back events later. But that was really sad. I'm hoping that since they have it up now, I mean, you can actually take a look here. If you look in Digimon, Digi-Eggs, you have the additional eggs that just came out, plus the Kudamon egg, and
Yes, that's
the 4 Sovereigns. And I hope they get to stay because they were the most needed Digimon in the game.
yeah, because when they originally came out, for those that didn't know, they were limited time only. Same with some of the items, such as
White Blade.
the White Blade. Not so much riding. I was more talking evolution, such as Furious Claw, Source of Darkness, Return to Nothing.
Right.
Yes. Alarm Clock. All of these items to get Apoclymon, to get the evolved form of Lucimon. They were limited time only, so unless you brought one, like they're out now, but unless you brought one under Joymax, you couldn't get one.
Right.
Unless you wanted to pay some ridiculous price to a Tamer that had brought in money before.
And there have been events Joymax did send out to us that we could get like BM items for free. But like I said, like on Cash Up, these events are a certain amount of times until they get taken down again, and you can only get a certain item at that certain time. And even that was ridiculous. So the Game King actually dropped the bomb on us to where we can actually get these items without an unlimited time. Hopefully.
Yeah, not to mention the events under Game King have been so much better than Joymax's.
Right.
Just recently, we've had the ability to get a BM box, which has a random burst mode item in it.
Right.
And previously, I don't believe we actually had any of these random BM boxes or even BMs being able to be dropped.
And if some of you are wondering what BMs or burst mode is, it's whenever you accept a certain item and apply it to that certain Digimon that accepts that item, he has to be at a certain level to go into burst mode, which is, in this case, 65.
And it changes depending on the Digimon. Most of them are 65.
Right.
And then there's actually ones that might have 2 burst modes. And then the second one would be a higher level, like
Right.
70, 75.
So we have arranged burst modes to burst mode items, and heck, even Jogris for that matter. We're getting so powered up over this. It's like Game King is not holding back on surprises, but yet till this day, I've seen people using megaphones shouting out "F you, Game King," and "You screwed up the game, you killed it," and all that stuff. And it's like, no, that's a bit rude. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not entirely sure what they're talking about. Like, as I did mention before, now that everyone can farm at Fire Island, it's really hard to get one of the main farming points. But it's not the end of the world.
right.
Like, you can still do your quests, you can still do everything you need to do, you just find a different farming spot.
Right. And apart from what was it? The original Tamers, as far as they go, you can actually get an original Tamer between what was it? Lost Historics? I think it was Lost Historics.
I think it's anywhere on Fire Island.
Yeah.
But, mainly between Lost Historic and Waterfront.
Right.
The Devonmon raid tends to be pretty good to get a tie. I even got a tie myself.
Oh my god, something funny just happened to me. And I got it all on camera. Pyeldramon was attacking Gatomon, and all of a sudden she went back to her normal position after Vmon de-digivolved.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I was like, no, I'm done. You're my best friend. I don't want to hurt you anymore. You're such a baby. But anyway, yeah. Alright, I need my KFC. Storage. Where's KFC?
Yeah, the only thing I am wondering about Game King is that they've actually given us so much that there's not much left to give us.
Well, that's okay then, because actually, if you actually look at the Digimon book here, there's like a ton of Digimon here to actually appeal to hatching. Because if you farm the eggs or get it from Kamimon at DATS or at the Village of Beginning, you can hatch them at no matter what. But since the level cap drops have been terminated, you can actually farm up data at no matter what given level. So that's a definite bonus.
Exactly, yeah.
And all items, by the way, are now maxed up to 500, except for those that have a time limit on it or whatever. It's like, yeah.
Yes, actually that itself was a really good buff to the game, I suppose. When you're trying to stack items and you can only hold a certain amount of cracked eggs or a certain amount of an item,
Especially data.
it just filled up your inventory.
Yeah. Because especially for you, or for those of you that farm, Digimon eggs from Cherubimon, they don't, fill up a certain or all the slots of each one in certain.
Yeah, they stack now.
Yeah, they stack up to 500 now. So you guys can, farm as much as you want. You can get like 1,000 to a million in inventory and not have to worry about it taking up so much space. You can either refund them to get that much Terra, or you can at least scan them for data and cores, because that's what they're mainly for. And for me, it was a great opportunity to do so, because I could actually, get as many cores as I want to visit Kamimon and get as many eggs as I can just to hatch whatever Digimon I can. And I will be posting a video at some point this week about how to navigate through the website. Because the website, or I should say our website, is most important to us, because it keeps us informed about what to do, what not to do, and so on and so forth. And there are some Tamer bonuses that I left out for you guys, such as the Google themes for the Royal Knight themes. So that's something to look forward to. And we do have, I think, 3 spots to fill in our guild. We need 3 royals to be tamed. We have a spot, or a limited of like 25, I think. 25. Let me see. There's like 50. Okay, so we have 16 out of 50. So we have a lot of spot to fill. So if you guys feel like coming over to the Lucemon server, and if you're not in the guild already, please let us know. We will be grateful to have you in our guild. And to find out who is not being tamed at the moment, just go to our website. Links down below in the description. We do have a list of Digimon underneath the purchased items, such as the Digi-Eggs, the data, and underneath is the list of the royals that have or have not been tamed so far. So you guys get to come in, you guys get to take a pick and tell us what you think, and we'll see what happens. But I do suggest one thing: you must be at the age of 20 or over to join us, because there's a lot of hectic stuff going on around here. We don't need no childish actions, to display what they do or do not like, because we had our fair share of drama here and we don't need any more. So please, if you want to, please come talk to us. Anything you'd like to add before we end the video?
I think you said pretty much everything.
Alright, so next up, oh, I just died. Next up, a video about the website's navigation, I guess. This is your King Willex.
This is Aussie Tamer.
And we'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye!